And howdy do, I'm back. So, I'm doing a part 2 to the Miller Fortune because they recommend that you actually hold this in your hand. So they recommend it served in a rocks glass and hold in your hand and do something counterintuitive to macro drinkers and, let it warm. That's going to be tough to get those type of drinkers to want to do that because it's so ingrained in them that's the type of beer they're drinking, to drink it extremely cold. If they're able to sell this, it's actually a good idea, especially since it is going to be marketed for the nightclub goers. I mean, they say here in a paragraph that's marketed to 21 to 27 somethings. I said before that I thought it was marketed 21 to 29. I think I'm probably close enough for rock and roll. But yeah, if you're in a club, your drink's probably going to start getting warm. It actually is going to benefit them if they're able to sell it, and that I don't know if they're going to be able to do. I will tell you, I doubted, or I questioned why they would want this served in a rocks glass. How would a rocks glass possibly help this along? And I will note that as I've let this sit, I've tried to take their advice and let it sit. I've let this sit for about 10 minutes to let it warm. And I will tell you that more aromas have opened up. That is actually very true. There wasn't a whole lot right away, but a little bit of caramel. And now I can smell the cascades, that little bit of citrus that cascades will impart. I'm also getting bigger caramel notes and maybe a touch of anise as well. There are more aromas that are opening up as it warms. How about that? I didn't read it on camera earlier. I'm going to kind of paraphrase now because I don't want to go back and kind of read something. But they do mention also that macro beer sales have slumped. Craft beer sales overall have gone down, but craft beer sales have been going up gradually. But macro sales have slumped because the 21 to 27 something, the 21 to 29 somethings have switched. They're not drinking as much beer as they once did. The focus has been on a lot of trendy liquors. Unaged alcohols are very trendy. Spiced alcohols are very trendy right now. Those things are selling in the bars and nightclubs where beer isn't as much. That's why they're marketing something like this that has a little more alcohol than their 5% beer. At 6.9 now. It was supposed to be kind of bourbon-esque. I'm not really feeling that. And I am getting some caramel, and I think they thought maybe that would do it. If it had some kind of vanilla notes, if I got just a little bit more, I might be able to kind of feel bourbon out of it, but I'm not. I will tell you that this isn't as distinctive as I think they wanted it to be. However, I will say that it is rather smooth and not unpleasant either. There is nothing, I'm not getting anything off about this. As I'm letting it warm, I've noticed I've got a much more aromas coming out of it. Now, whether the typical macro drinker out on the town wants those aromas is still yet to be seen, or whether the guy that's drinking unaged liquors or spice liquors wants these aromas, or whether it even matters to them, is still yet to be seen. But I will tell you that the aromas are awakening up as I've let this sit in my rocks glass. Flavors. I've noticed the crispness, the citrus, the hops are again waking up a tad more as I've let it warm. I've also noticed the caramel is a little more apparent. Not very big, but it is more apparent. I am getting, maybe just my taste buds, but I am getting a touch of anise as well. There are some flavors in this beer not typically found in a macro of any type. So, you know what? Spirited golden lager, they say here. I mean, this is what they're marketing it for, right? They are marketing it as that nightclub-esque kind of beer, even though it's kind of a category I just made up out of the top of my noggin. But you could tell by the shape of the bottle, They're marketing it in a rocks glass. I caution folks to get their money's worth. This is a 12-ounce glass. Most rocks are 12-ounce glass. So there you go. Give it a shot.